Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're going to unpack something that touches literally almost every single modern business, but somehow remains completely misunderstood by most of us. We are dissecting the massive, complex ecosystem of a modern search engine optimization campaign. And to do this, we're using the comprehensive service catalog of FirstPageRanks, which is an established SEO agency, as our real-world map. We're going to look right under the hood to see what true digital visibility actually requires. So, what does it actually take to rank on page one? I mean, it's the ultimate question, isn't it? Every single business owner out there, whether you're running a local bakery or a massive e-commerce empire, wants to know exactly how to secure that coveted real estate on page one of Google. Well, as we're going to see from diving into our source material, the answer isn't just, sprinkling a few keywords onto your homepage. It involves a staggering amount of highly coordinated, behind-the-scenes work. We're talking about an intricate web of technical architecture, content creation, and digital PR. Just to give you a sense of the sheer geographic scale required to dominate search, consider this rapid-fire list of target cities serviced by FirstPageRanks. We've got Amritsar, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Chandigarh, Chennai, Delhi, Gurugram, Mumbai, Pune, Surat, and honestly, the list just keeps going. The internet might feel global, but ranking power, that is hyper-local. Agencies have to map out and heavily optimize for dozens of specific regional markets just to make sure their clients are capturing targeted traffic. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap. Section 1, building the technical foundation. Section 2, content and on-page optimization. Section 3, off-page authority. Section 4, winning the local market. And finally, Section 5, the cost of SEO. All right, starting at the very bottom with Section 1, building the technical foundation, the invisible architecture. We're basically going to treat this massive service list like building a digital house. And technical SEO, that is the invisible structural foundation holding everything else up. It's all about making sure a website is fast, crawlable, and super easy for search engines to index without throwing any errors. Because, listen, before you ever need to worry about writing clever blog posts or finding keywords, your website physically needs to speak the language of search engine bots clearly and securely. If this foundation is cracked, literally nothing else matters. To build that algorithmic trust, an agency tackles this incredibly dense, almost microscopic checklist of structural tasks. They generate XML sitemaps, so Google actually has a map of your URLs. They enforce HTTPS and SSL for security. They handle canonicalization, which, by the way, is really just a fancy way of telling search engines which version of a duplicate page is the master copy. Plus, they're fixing for broken links and optimizing mobile core web vitals to make absolutely sure the site loads instantly on smartphones. Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds content and on-page optimization, the interior design. So, if technical SEO is our concrete foundation, the next phase is the interior design. We are walking inside the digital house now. There's a classic point of confusion in marketing: on-page versus off-page SEO. Think of on-page SEO as being inside the house. It is everything you have total, absolute control over: your meta titles, your written content, your headers. Off-page SEO, on the other hand, is your neighborhood reputation. It's what other people are saying about you out in the wild. And you absolutely need both to thrive. Focusing on that interior design for a second, agencies meticulously craft these on-page elements to make sure search engines understand exactly what the business offers. Meta titles and header tags basically act like the chapter titles of your business. They carefully manage keyword density so the topic is crystal clear, but without sounding like a robot actually wrote it. They even use schema markup. That's a type of hidden code that explicitly tells search engines, hey, this page is an article, or this is a product, or this is a local business. Even the images get optimized with alt tags so the algorithm knows exactly what the visual represents. It's completely comprehensive. Moving right along to Section 3, off-page authority and PR, your neighborhood reputation. Now we're stepping outside the house analogy to look at how a business builds trust across the wider internet ecosystem. Our source material puts a massive emphasis on white hat SEO. This defines the ethical strategies that improve your search engine rankings naturally without risking those dreaded algorithmic penalties. Because trust has to be earned, it cannot be faked. If an agency tries to use risky shortcuts, like, say, buying a bunch of spammy backlinks, Google will eventually penalize the site and just wipe out all of that hard work. And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scale of the off-page ecosystem. SEO does not just happen on Google. FirstPageRanks offers optimizations for Twitter profiles, LinkedIn headlines, Facebook groups, Instagram Reels, Pinterest rich pins, and even YouTube metadata. To build true off-page authority, your brand's digital footprint literally needs to be optimized everywhere your audience might be searching. Next up, Section 4, winning the local market, your physical address. Let's bring our focus back home. For brick-and-mortar stores, your physical address is the single most critical factor for survival. Local SEO connects your brand with people searching for services in your exact area right now. It's all about capturing that high-urgency search intent. Think about it. When someone types plumber near me, they aren't just casually browsing for fun. They're ready to make a purchase today. Local SEO ensures you are the very first door they knock on. To do this, FirstPageRanks uses a really precise chronological playbook to turn a simple Google My Business, or GMB profile, into a complete lead generation machine. Step 1, they heavily secure and verify the profile. Step 2, they ensure NAP consistency. NAP stands for name, address, and phone number. If your address is spelled even slightly differently on Yelp than it is on Google, search engines lose trust instantly. Step 3, load it up with optimized categories and high-quality photos. And Step 4, actively monitor and respond to customer reviews. That shows the algorithm, and real humans, that the business is active and actually cares. Finally, Section 5, the cost of SEO, breaking down the investment. We've covered all the mechanics, but let's pivot to some radical transparency here. What does all of this invisible architecture actually cost? Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is looking objectively at the exact economic realities of the industry. A basic SEO foundation might run you about 3,000 rupees a month. Ongoing technical fixes, that steps up to 7,000. Full-scale digital PR is 10,000. And get this, penalty recovery is listed at 8,000 rupees. That means if you break Google's rules, you literally pay a premium to an agency just to clean up your toxic links. Let's ground all of these abstract concepts in a hard number: 1 million rupees. According to the pricing sheets in our source material, that is the yearly cost for a top-tier digital PR campaign. When you zoom out from those monthly fees and look at the annual investment, you start to truly understand the sheer scale of what a full, dedicated SEO commitment looks like for a growing business. And these pricing structures reveal a deep truth about the digital landscape. You've got your monthly sprints. These are the quick technical fixes, initial audits, or penalty recoveries. But true digital dominance, that requires a yearly marathon. Building real brand authority, earning reputable PR backlinks, and achieving sustainable growth, it's a long-term financial and strategic commitment. It just doesn't happen overnight. I want to pull a direct quote straight from the FirstPageRanks FAQ because it summarizes the core truth of this entire explainer so perfectly. Quote, SEO is an ongoing process that evolves with search trends and competition. Your digital house requires constant maintenance because the internet is a neighborhood that is constantly changing. Algorithms update, your competitors launch new campaigns, and user behavior shifts. You really can't just build it once and walk away. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the anatomy of a modern SEO campaign, I want to leave you with this provocative thought. Think about your own projects, your own businesses, or even the brands you interact with every single day. Is your digital foundation truly built to last with solid technicals and strong off-page authority? Or are you just renting space on page 2, hoping the algorithm doesn't change tomorrow? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll see you next time.